much for tuning in to watch this video. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for new punk rock videos every week and tap the bell to get notified when new videos drop.
There we were there too.
We were there too.
Hey, all you big boys, we were there too.
We were there too.
We may have been young, but we were there too. And I know, 'cause we were there too.
My name is Erin Micklow, and I'm here at Rebellion with Jennie Russell-Smith.
Hello.
One of the owners of Rebellion. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We were having a nice girls chat here and I got distracted.
Yeah, we are.
Well, so I want to talk to you. I've been coming here for 3 years now. This is my 3rd year attending. And I want to talk about the inner workings of Rebellion Festival. You've been doing this festival for over 20 years, right?
27.
27.
Yeah.
And then obviously with the last 2 years with the pandemic, you weren't able to. And then this year we have the addition of the R-Fest, which is the outdoor one, which was supposed to be for the anniversary, correct?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And then now it's like, it's a beast. I got a tour of it and it is
Insane.
And it's just even like the city mandates, like getting the tour of it. It was like, oh, this is a live train track here. How is that going to work?
Tram lines. We were going to close the tram lines, but then it was so logistically a nightmare that we were like, no, let's just not close the tram lines and keep it open for the public and work around it. So.
Can you talk about what goes into putting this festival together? Obviously, you have an amazing team of people. I've met a bunch of the team, and it's very well organized. Can you talk about kind of like, you know, it takes you like a year essentially to do each festival, right?
Yeah, so we kind of have the rest of August off to recover and then start again in September with the whole, you know, what are we going to do? Where are we going to put stuff? What bands are we going to have? And kind of, you know, a bit of a breakdown of the year before, what was good, what didn't work. And then we start again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It is. It's amazing.
Well, so obviously, you know, Rebellion does have a family vibe here. You do bring back a lot of the same bands because it's honoring that. It's not just a straight business decision of who you bring in. It's like, okay, well, these are, you know, family. You guys have made me feel like family.
Absolutely. Good. That's it. I mean, some bands, you know, they play every year because that's it. They become close friends. They're kind of, it's family, you know. So while we want the lineup to be really diverse and bring in new stuff, bring in new bands, you know, there are some bands that people would be like, oh, where are they? You know, why aren't they playing? And
yeah.
Your head should be there by the square, costs much more than it's worth. You judge a place food by the place you have to pay the highest prices. And another golden life to drive the most expensive car.
Well, I mean, I must imagine, I mean, for me alone, just being a one woman deciding who I interview, I can only imagine how difficult it is for you. I mean, you've got like what, 250 bands?
360.
360. So how do you go about choosing? Because obviously there's limitless bands in the world, and this is a very diverse festival, which I love. There's bands from literally all around the world, not just Europe.
Yeah.
So how do you go about like?
Well, I think anybody, I mean, that's the good thing is anybody can apply to play. Anybody, you know, regardless of where they're from or, you know, what they do. We will take submissions from anybody. And then it's kind of, you know, I suppose it kind of just gets whittled down. And of course, some people are not available that weekend and things. So we just kind of whittle it down and pick, you know, the best stuff and the stuff that we think people are like, especially with the new stuff. It's like, you know, will our audience, will our family like this band? And a lot of the time that's it. People are going to love this lot. We'll put them on. And so it kind of, you know, it's sort of, some practical thought behind it, but a lot of it is kind of emotional. What will people love? Who's going to kind of fit in with the family?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and so this year, in addition to the R-Fest, you do have, it's the Rebellion introducing stage, but you kind of branched off and have an additional section called After Dark.
Yeah, so that's for bands that have never played Rebellion before, but are just kind of that level above the introducing, and again, who we thought, wow, you know, people want to see these guys. And because the introducing stage has historically closed quite early, we thought, yeah, you know, there's a little opportunity to put a little extra magic in there and
Yeah.
and bringing After Dark.
And that's a way too to kind of like those bands where maybe it's their first time playing Rebellion, but to not shade them because they do have an established audience. They do have some sort of draw.
That's it.
And it's like, it's, you know, for them maybe potentially insulting to say you're on the introducing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's their way of like, okay, you pay your dues. It's your first Rebellion, but
that's it. And the introducing stage is really about kind of really new bands, about, you know, kind of those bands that maybe have toured, have done some gigs, but have not really had, you know, a huge amount of exposure. So RIS is really about nurturing that talent and kind of bringing that in. Whereas After Dark's a bit more kind of, well, you've paid your dues, you've toured all the toilets, and now, you know, come and play. Yeah. And kind of meet the family, meet everybody.
Yeah, because I mean, even too, for all the introducing stage bands, like everybody has to start somewhere, and the way to get good as a band is like you have to just get out there and play.
Totally. It's the only way to do it. It's just get out there, do gigs, meet people, chat to people, and, you know, and kind of get established.
Absolutely. I mean, even, you know, starting my channel, doing interviews, if I look back on some of my old ones, ooh. we all have it. You got to pay your dues.
That's it. You've got to start somewhere. You know, you've got to, you know, it's like, so I do art as well as, so I'm kind of training to be an artist. And I look back, because I did loads of art during lockdown, and I look back at the stuff that I'd done before lockdown and look at my work now and think, God, it's so different. I'm like, oh my God, that was so crap.
You make me feel like I should try and act the same. You make me feel like I should dance around, looking for a claim. You make me search for something in my life I never did desire. You make me reach for goals I never wanted, nor should I try to aspire. You make me.
What kind of art do you do? Is it painting?
So I paint, but I'm really into illustrations. I'm kind of teaching myself illustration at the moment.
That's amazing. Do you think that you want to pursue a career in that?
No, not really. I think it's my kind of dream. I'd love to illustrate a children's book. So that's my kind of my little thing. But
I love that. Well, so back to the festival. For those that don't know, you started this with your now ex-husband, and you guys continue to run it together.
Absolutely.
You kept the same last name.
Yep.
Can you talk about, you know, how that was? Was there ever a point in it where it was like, oh, this is kind of hard?
No, never. We, I guess that, you know, we kind of, when you work with somebody 24/7, it's really hard to have a relationship with them as well. Yeah. So it was kind of, well, you know, we could either have this great relationship or we could run a festival. We're like, let's run a festival. We were always really good friends. And I think that's, you know, we were always better friends than we were a couple.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you were able to, you know, that the festival didn't die with, you know, the end of your relationship.
Oh, gosh, no. In fact, I think it's probably, you know, our working relationship's definitely better.
It's not so stressed.
No, it's not. And, you know, we kind of, I think we appreciate each other's strengths and weaknesses a lot more now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so this weekend, too, you're actually playing in two bands. I did not know that you were musical. And speaking to some other people, they did not know that either.
I keep it under my hat.
Yeah, you do. There's nowhere. I looked at the lineup again. I was like, how did I miss your band is playing? And it's because it says nothing about your name. It says The Crows.
That's it. The Crows and Spectrum 4. But I just, you know, I do that because I love it. I love singing. I love playing. And, you know, that's kind of... That's my relaxation.
And so what do you play in these respective bands?
So with the Crows, I wrote all the lyrics and used to play guitar.
Yeah.
But I don't play guitar anymore because I am a rubbish guitarist. So now I sing with Mandy, and that's more kind of folky punk, and I love that. And then Spectrum 4 is a friend of mine's band, Terry Out of D-Mob, who I've known for a long, long time. Phoned me up during COVID and said, we've lost our singer. Do you want to come along and give it a try? And I was like, I don't know. And then he sent me some of the songs. I was like, oh, I quite like this. It's kind of gothy. And I was kind of going back to my youth with the whole gothy thing. And I was like, oh, I quite like this. Went along for an audition. And yeah, I was just like, yes, I'll do it. I love it. If you want me, you can have me.
That's amazing. I love that.
It's really good fun. I love it.
And so with the Crows, how far along is that band? Like, how long have they been a band? And
So the Crows have been together since 2010. I mean, we don't do a lot of gigs because we're all in other bands. We're all doing, obviously I've got Rebellion and everything. So we only play kind of when we want to. But we've played in Amsterdam, Germany. We've played all over the world.
Yeah.
It's great fun.
well, that's a nice thing too. It's like you own your festival, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna put myself in here. I mean, you can like on one of the slots. It's not like you're coming in and taking the headlining slot.
That's it. No, we'll play at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
You think you're so cool, but let me tell you how I see you. You strut around the crowd, feeling proud with your head held high. Your ego's inflated like a beach ball on the beach and needs birthday, yeah.
Well, so can you talk about, I want to talk about some of the struggles of this fest. Obviously, how you guys have invited me in, seeing more of the inner workings of the fest and just how much work goes into putting it together. Can you share some of that for everyone watching?
Yeah. I mean, it's very hard work because even though we have a huge team this weekend, we don't.
Well, it's fires too. It's like the festival starts and you're putting out fires.
That's it. Every, during the year, there's like myself, Daryl and Darren, the three of us. And that, we have some people that kind of work for us and do bits part-time. But in terms of like full-time, it's the three of us. And, other festivals have kind of got 50, 100 people doing the jobs that we do. So, so sometimes it's overwhelming and it's just like, oh my God, how are we going to cope? We can't do this with 3 people. But as I say, we've got, an amazing team. And when everybody gets together in Blackpool, everybody helps. And it's just like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. And it's great. It happens. Sometimes I just think, it's just more good luck than good management. But it's not. It's just a well-oiled machine, really.
That and just everybody here is very friendly and happy. You can tell that people are not hating their jobs because, when you've been to a festival and people are just grouchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody, all the crew I've met here is they're just really smiley and friendly and they do their jobs. And even
that's really good.
Yeah. One thing I've particularly noticed about your festival since my first time attending in 2018 was the security is very kind. They don't assault the patrons.
Oh God, no! I'd never stand for that.
I don't know. Like, is that common here in Europe? Because it's very common in America. Security they take their aggressions out for their personal issues on the patrons.
No, it's not. I don't think that's a common thing over here. I think they're quite respectful.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest things that I really became aware of, coming over here and attending this. I was just like, wow. Yeah,
but so it should be. People have paid money to go to a concert. They should be treated with respect.
Yeah, and it's like if you treat the patrons with respect, they'll do the things that they're supposed to do.
Absolutely. And I get messages from people who've been coming for years going, if there's anything you need me to do, just tell me. And that's, it's kind of give and take. It's it is. It's if you treat people right, they treat you right, and that's my philosophy in life: is be kind. There's not enough kindness in the world.
It spreads the love of like there'll always still be those people that are just eternally grouchy, and you can't help them.
Some people live to moan. Some people just love, and and in their own way, you're just like, okay, if that's your bag, that's fine.
I'm just gonna be over here.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
go.
Yeah.
But some people, and I always think when people are kind of grouchy, you don't know what else is going on in their lives. They might be having a really bad time. So I don't take it personally.
For sure.
And you let me spend the time, I'll tell you exactly what I think of you. You make me feel like I should try and act the same. Feel like I should prance around, looking for a claim. Search for something in my life, I never did desire. Reach for goals I never wanted.
Well, so the festival used to be called Holidays in the Sun. What made you change the name? Like, I obviously, this is only my third rebellion, so Holidays in the Sun was the very beginning, and it was when it was very small.
So it was when, so back in '96 we called it Holidays in the Sun, and then in 2003 we changed it to Wasted because we felt that Holidays in the Sun might sound a bit retrospective, but kind of as if it was kind of,
Reminds me of Sex Pistols.
yeah, it was kind of, it was a throwback to kind of 1977,
Yeah.
and it was stuck. It was kind of not a forward thinking kind of name, so we changed it to Wasted, which is probably even worse. And
Doesn't have the same. It's like do I want to go to a festival called Wasted?
no, it was the worst decision ever, and that only lasted 3 years.
Yeah.
And then we changed it to Rebellion, and it's been Rebellion ever since, and we love it.
I think it's a really strong name. You know, even when I say it to people, like, you know, in the airports coming here and things, people that don't really know about punk, they're like, Rebellion, what is that? And I'm like, it's a punk festival. It's a punk festival.
Yeah. That's it. We're all rebellious. We're all kind of trying to change the world in our own way, aren't we? So I think it's a good name.
Well, so what does the future of the festival hold? This is year 27. I was wondering, with the R-Fest stage, is that something that you think you'll continue to do?
I would like to. I think that, especially seeing it down there, because it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And I just think it opens those doors to kind of branch out and put different bands on than we would here. It just, you know, Darren and I are both really creative, both kind of really imaginative, and have lots of ideas to do things. And I think R-Fest gives us that another creative forum to kind of, you know, to explore different ideas.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
this weekend, it's a lot of more of the kind of gothy, like,
I said it's kind of post-punk
Yeah.
and, you know, and those kind of things. But like moving forward, it's sort of, it's limitless, isn't it? Because we could have kind of a ska day, or, you know, it just kind of gives us that forum to go, we could do this, and we can do anything we want, because we've got huge capacity, we've got an amazing stage, so, you know, we can kind of let our imaginations run wild with it.
Yeah. And I was actually speaking to a girl that I met on the train on the way here from London to Blackpool, and she was from Birmingham, and she was like, oh, how is this R-Fest gonna be? That it's gonna be a lot of complaining over and I was like, well, Rebellion did have an outdoor stage for a few years.
Gosh, yeah, I mean, we had where the conference center is now.
She didn't know that. She was like, it was before her time. But
so the Olympia closed for 3 years because they had a permanent exhibition in there. So we lost the Olympia for 3 years and did a stage on the car park that's now the conference center,
which is where the art room is this year, right?
Yeah.
The art room in the literary, which is, it's beautiful. It's funny to see
Isn't it stunning.
It's funny to see the like the difference between, because it's right up against the Empress, which is
and
old.
That old wall, that Victorian wall,
And then there's
all that
escalators.
glass and chrome. It's like, oh my God, the juxtaposition between the two is incredible. I love it. So we had a stage on there, and the car park that they're now building the cinema on.
Yeah.
We had a stage out there 1 year.
Okay.
I keep saying every time I put a stage somewhere, they keep building on it.
You make me feel like I should try and act the same. Feel like I should prance around, looking for a claim.
And so how did it come that you decided to do the outdoor stage down there? Because it is quite far from the festival.
It is. And in 2019, so Blackpool have a thing every year called Blackpool Illuminations, where they light the whole town up with all these incredible, beautiful lights and stuff. And they have a big kind of festival for the switch on.
Yeah.
So in 2019, myself and Alan, our production manager, and his partner,
He was really nice,
and my daughter, we all went down to the switch on, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely amazing. It's kind of underneath the tower by the sea. It's like, this is beautiful. But the one thing that really kind of made me go, yeah, this is the place, was you can see the Winter Gardens from the arena.
Yeah.
And it kind of, because the tower's in the middle, so you can see the tower from the Winter Gardens, you can see the tower from R-Fest. It's kind of, it feels connected somehow.
Yeah.
There's still that kind of symbiotic relationship between the two.
Yeah, it's like, okay, it's kind of, it's you know what it reminds me of? It's like Vegas, where in Las Vegas, it's like, oh, that's not that far. And then you start walking and it's
Yeah,
like,
I know. I got a lift back this afternoon. I was like, I've got these boots on. Give me a lift.
yeah, it's like, it's not. And then you walk, it's like, oh, it's
Yeah,
far.
It is. It is quite, I suppose if you've got really comfy shoes on, it probably doesn't seem it, but walking in big boots, no.
Same. Even my boots today, I'm like, my feet are starting to hurt. My feet hurt.
But it is great down there, and everybody was kind of sat down on the comedy carpet where it's tiled. There was people sat there having like little picnics and stuff, and it was like, oh, this is so cool.
Oh, that's really cute. People are
Yeah.
allowed to bring food in, or they buy food.
No, I think they'd bought it
Yeah.
and they'd kind of, put a rug down and we kind of sat eating and drinking and watching the bands, and it was kind of, oh, it's like a proper outdoor festival.
It is cute. That is cute.
It is
So
very cute.
for the future of Rebellion, what does that hold? You want to do the R-Fest again if it works out this year?
If it works out, I think, as long as you don't get loads of complaints and loads of people going, oh, it was terrible, the noise was awful, then I think that, yes, I think we'd love to do it again and to bring something, something extra to Blackpool, because it is a town,
Yeah.
the kind of the north of England does get forgotten about.
Yeah.
Investment wise and everything else.
Yeah.
It struggles, and I think that actually it's a beautiful town. It's incredible. It's got some incredible architecture,
Yeah.
amazing people, and it's still the most popular tourist destination in the UK.
Oh, wow.
And I think we should celebrate that. We should
Yeah.
go, wow, this is amazing. This is something that that people should come to. That that it is amazing. It's very close to my heart, even though I'm not from here. But
Yeah.
it's very
Blackpool
it's very
for me
close to
now
my
has a
heart.
special place. I mean, my first year I stayed in one of those B&Bs and absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, sir, no, ma'am. But this year I booked a really nice Airbnb that was brand new.
Love
So stuff
Airbnb's amazing.
is happening here that
It
they're
is.
building.
And some of the old hotels have been kind of done up to be boutique hotels.
Yeah.
Loads of apartments popping up.
So it's like, because people are all this year, they're like,
great.
that's so nice for Blackpool. And
It
they're
is.
like, how did you find this? And I was like, Airbnb. Like,
Yeah, you should have been here in 1996 and seen some of the places.
No. My first year, 2018, it was just, on top of it being shitty, I was like, there's 2 outlets in here. I can't even charge all my stuff. I was on the struggle bus.
Yeah, no. I remember somebody telling me once that their bed was so close to the toilet door, they had to move the bed every time they wanted to go to the toilet.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, I didn't have that, but I just remember because everyone had warned me about Blackpool, and it lived up when you stay in one of those. But I was like you, I feel like it's like, no, you can have a nice experience in Blackpool also.
Some amazing places.
You can.
Absolutely amazing.
It is a cute little town. I mean, between the strip clubs and things, but I was like walking. Oh, that's a strip club. Okay.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to close with that, and I want to say thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. Give me a hug.
Aw.
It's been amazing. Hey, I'm Jennie Russell Smith, and you're watching Last Rockers TV.
We were there too.
Hey, all you big boys, we were there too.
We were there too.
We may have been young, but